Alright guys, welcome to today's video. We're going to go over the mouse sensitivity, mouse and keyboard settings for Warzone. So we're going to go over here. I'm going to go over a little bit of this with you guys. My mouse sensitivity is at 4.22. How did I get that number? Okay, so and we'll get into that in a bit here, and I'll share with you how I got that number. But you want your mouse sensitivity in game to be the lowest it can be, and then you can change your mouse sensitivity on your gaming mouse via DPI. Okay, and we'll get to that in a minute. Generally speaking, I leave all of these. Some people play around with air vehicle sensitivity multiplier, even all the way up to 2. ADS mouse sensitivity mode, relative. Okay, I want it to be relative. Okay, I don't want it to be legacy. That's kind of silly. This is where it's going to change here. Okay, so your monitor distance coefficient is at 1.33 by default. That is false. You do not want that. You want it to be at 1.78. Okay? It says here, define an on-screen distance where relation between mouse hardware and screen movement speed is constant across any zoom level. Value is based on 16:9 screen monitor. Okay? If we take a calculator, okay, 16 divided by 9 is 1.78. Where did they get 1.33? Well, I'll tell you. Is 1.33. That's where they got it. They got it from 4 ratio of 4:3. Okay, so you want to take, if you want to know the actual number, you take your number, 1920, divide by 1080. I get 1.78. So I change this to 1.78. This is going to, on the mouse end of things, change. If you take your mouse and you move it from all the way, let's say top to bottom. Okay, so if you take your mouse and your mouse is at the top, and you measure the distance from top to bottom. Okay, there's bottom for me. And back up, it's about a 1/4 of an inch difference. But that 1/4 of an inch difference means that you're going to be, depending on your sensitivity, let's say this is the target, you're going to be either here from the target or here. And if your target's far away, that means you're missing him by that much, right? 6 feet, 7 feet, whatever it is. So you want to definitely have your monitor distance coefficient at 1.78 or to max your resolution, okay? Screen resolution. ADS sensitivity multiplier 1. Custom sensitivity per zoom. I have just turned off. You don't want to turn any of this invert stuff on. I actually want airplanes only. Actually, I'm gonna turn that on. Mouse acceleration you don't want. Mouse filtering you do not want. Mouse smoothing turned off. Okay. And I think the rest of everything else is pretty normal. Slide behavior, tap, crouch toggle, prone behavior, go to. This is odd because go toggle. is definitely not. Anyway, automatic airborne mantle disabled. Sprint, tactical sprint behavior toggled. Automatic sprint disabled. Walk behavior hold. You want your walk speed the maximum. Okay? You don't want to be walking at 20% normal speed. That's ridiculous. Parachute auto deploy. I have enabled. A lot of people disable this so they can hit the ground faster, okay? And then, of course, these are just my key bindings. Now, I'm going to share with you how I get this number, the 4.22, etc., 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 okay? So what you do is you take your DPI, okay, and then you take your in-game sensitivity. So I'm playing at 1600 DPI, okay, by 4.22, and that'll give you, you multiply those two numbers, that'll give you your EDPI, which is those two numbers combined, right? So it'll be your actual movement speed or your mouse sensitivity. That's what we'll call it. If you had, let's say, 800 DPI, okay, and your mouse sensitivity was 8, I think, you'd get the same number, right? Or 1600 by 2 would be 3200 actual sensitivity, and then if you had DPI of 400, but your in-game sensitivity was 8, you would have a 3200 actual DPI. Okay, so your mouse sensitivity would be the exact same. So how I measure, the only accurate way to measure what your in-game sensitivity is. Okay, so the only accurate way to test your in-game sensitivity is to take your mouse, okay? And if I had a mouse camera, this would be awesome. But you want to take your mouse and move it to the edge of your mouse pad, okay? So the furthest point to the right, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to start at a point, okay? So let's just start at the edge, the left side of this, right there, right? The left side of the of this pipe, okay? And you're going to measure the distance on the mouse pad, just moving your mouse just to the left, okay? So you're going to measure that distance, okay? So from right to left, how many centimeters, okay, did it take you, okay? And that's where that's your in-game sensitivity with DPI and in-game sensitivity. Most players, like Cloaksy, all the way down to like Zealander and Dr. Disrespect and the Tapman, most players run anywhere from 60 to 45 centimeters per 360. Okay? Very few will go below 30. Okay? I personally play at 27. Okay? Which is quite fast. Okay? Only 27 centimeters until a full 360 is very fast. So the lower that number is, obviously, the faster, because the sensitivity is greater, right? So if you're like, if you're moving 5 centimeters and you're already done your 360, you play extremely high sensitivity, right? It means less arm movement, more wrist movement. Um, so I definitely recommend playing around with that, seeing where you're at, where you compare, and then if you need to improve on that. If you need to slow it down, then what I would recommend is to go super slow, change your DPI to maybe 400, and then change your in-game to like, or sorry, change your DPI to 1600. That's where all the pros recommend. So DPI, you have less lag, or zero lag almost, between your mouse reacting to the screen in DPI settings. But in-game settings, the higher your sensitivity is, the more lag you're gonna have between your mouse and your game. So if you find you're making shots, but it's not correlating with your mouse click, okay, as you feel like there's a little bit of lag, check those settings. I guarantee you, your sensitivity in game is higher than it should be, and your mouse sensitivity is not 1600. Okay, so what I would do is I would play around with that, try going 1600 DPI, and then changing your in game all the way down to 1. It might help out your improvement in your aim. If you found today's video helpful, guys, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe.